Well, it says I'm in New Babbage, and I bedlogged way out in Pyro, near Terminus, somewhere. I don't remember. So I don't know what that's about, but we shall see. Bob Dylan was pretty cool. He's like 82, so not exactly an energetic concert. It was very low key, very mellow. Music was amazing. I would say it was pretty surreal, pretty cool experience to see Bob, even though we didn't really see him. I don't know why it said that. I'm bedlogged, and it looks like Pyro, so I think sometimes when you bedlog, it doesn't say somewhere in the Pyro system. It says you're out in New Babbage, which is funny because you're not anywhere near New Babbage, but you know. Oh, I do have 2 more sticks of RAM coming. Bought 2 more 16s. So that will give me a total of 64, which I really think is going to be necessary in order to keep things moving the way that they're supposed to, because I don't know, having the crashes that I do, I mean, it seems like that's at least the thing to start with, you know? It'd be cool if you could jump off of there. The ladder mechanics are good. They did a good job. It doesn't mean I like them. I still find it super fucking annoying. You know what I'm gonna do? Ah, duh. I'm trying to rearrange this so there's more room on here. Why don't I put this cyclone up underneath my... Let's see here. I should be able to... Yeah. Let's put... do I want to drive it out? Yeah, I think I do. I think I'm going to back it in. So let's do our backwards view here. I'm going to back it right in up there by the hover quad. What? I didn't hit a goddamn thing. Hey, hey. Okay, that looks pretty good. Be able to get back in there. Well, deck one. Yeah, that's better. I don't actually know what can be done about this. I cannot move this. This is Justin's Cyclone, and it's bricked. Yeah, it says bricked there.
Temporal land systems. System check.
Can't do anything with it. So, I know when you're in a hangar, you can scrap bricked ships, but what do you do in an ironclad? You know what they should do? You see these D rings here? I would like a game function where I can shackle up. I want some carabiners or some tow straps hooked to those, and then I want to take my Cyclone or my Nursa, and I want to drag this thing off my ship. Are there hooks in the back? No. They probably would have to put hooks. Or maybe you could hook it. Wouldn't that be cool if you had like a log chain or a tow strap and you could hook up and tow? I think that'd be pretty cool. I've said this before, I'll say it again. I'll never stop saying it. The Cyclone wheel, to me, in my opinion, is the coolest piece of machinery. I mean, it's super freaking awesome. The only thing that no one can figure out is when you don't have gravity holding the axle down on the wheel, what is it that holds the wheel on? You know, there's really no evidence of any direct connection. So you have this axle drive. It could even be a motor since this thing's electric. So let's say this is an electric motor that's driving a sprocket, which then drives the teeth of this wheel. It's cool. I love the straps. I love the texture. I love the tread. I like the honeycomb, and I love this tread here. I mean, everything about it is really neat. And I don't actually care that there's nothing that, you know, appears like it's being held on. I don't care. Or maybe there is. Maybe it's just, I mean, there's a lot of PFM around Star Citizen. So maybe it's a little, if you don't know what PFM is, that's an aviation acronym. PFM stands for pure fucking magic. Lots of PFM around here. So, I don't know. What should I do? I guess let's start with getting a top off over here. I've been adjusting audio volume a little bit. Watching my own videos, I noticed that my voice volume was down pretty low. So I would go back and watch my own video and turn the volume up, and I'm like, why am I so quiet? So I did turn up some of the volumes. Also, I turned up the in-game sound effects, and for the first time in a long time, I added a little music because I'm in Pyro, and Justin's like, dude, you gotta hear the music, and it is cool. Anywho, I feel like we should get some more stuff on here. I mean, the only other option would be for me to like, God, where would I even go? I mean, I'd almost have to go back to New Babbage, take this stuff off, and then go somewhere else, claim the clad. Maybe, you know what? Fuck it. Let's do that. Let's just do that. It's not that big of a deal. Gotta remember to take my boxes off, though. We don't want to leave those on. I really like having the supply boxes. That is so freaking handy. Maybe I'll do that. I'm gonna head back to New Babbage and just do a, hey, open the goddamn door. I'm gonna head back to New Babbage and just do a kind of swing through home and resupply. You know? I haven't been there in a while. Oh, good to be back. I don't mean that. I hate flying the clad. It serves a very important purpose, but I do hate flying it. I'm not gonna lie. Stanton Gateway, please. Not in the Nix. There we go. Yeah, that one. Alrighty, that is the plan. Shouldn't take too long to get there either, because I'm already out in space. Oh, we'll be back to New Babbage in no time. As long as I can fly this thing through a... As long as I can fly this thing through a jump point, which I've only ever bounced out of a jump point once, and it was in the clad, like, within the last week. Usually I am able to fly through those pretty uneventfully, but I bounced out and I was still in Stanton instead of Nick's. It's in one of the videos, and I was like, what the hell? What just happened? Yeah. Oh, it is a ways away. Wow. So you can pause recording. That's kind of cool. You know what? I'm going to try that. I'm going to do a little experiment here. Instead of stop recording, I'm going to click pause, and then as I'm approaching the gateway, I'm going to unpause, just so that you don't have to watch me fly in quant for 5 minutes. Lower these videos a little bit. Let's try that. Did that work? Okay, I'm experimenting with the pause key. Here we go again. All right, that was instantaneous for you, but it was about 3 minutes, 5 minutes for me. And we're just coming into the Stanton Gateway. At some point, I do need to refuel this thing, but man, it's amazing how far you can go on the clad without having to refuel. I mean, I've been doing all this jacking around. My quant fuel is still 6.5 out of 10. My hydrogen fuel is still 270 out of 280. I mean, I'm really not burning that much fuel in this thing. I think too that's something that people, and I shouldn't say this like I know. Let me begin by saying I don't know anything. But I suspect that there's going to have to be a major change in. I can never find the fucking gateway here. There's going to have to be a major change in, the economy, the fuel, the money. Little ships need to be able to not quant all the way across the universe. Big ships, like, not everybody's not always going to be a trillionaire. Like, I think there's going to be a time that's coming up sooner than we think where we don't. Oh, I'm crashing. No fucking way. Yep. Wow. Wow. Interesting. That was like, less than 20 minutes into gameplay. Not good. One thing to note, I only crash when I have the clad. That is a fact. I'm not saying it's because of the clad, but I only crash when I have the clad. That's all I'm saying. Now it says current location Ruin Station, which is funny because I'm also not at Ruin. Weird. Yeah, so I think at some point missions are not going to be as easy to acquire money. I think things are going to cost more. It has to be harder to do what we're doing. There has to be a challenge. There has to be a struggle in order for anything to have value. It's basic inflation, and I'm not a expert on that, but I mean, you got too much money, it's not worth anything. I think pricing, it's going to be the sort of thing where you work your way up and you have to struggle. Okay, back where we were. That's cool. Where's my fucking jump point? I think it's the sort of thing where you're going to have to struggle. You're going to have to work your way up the ladder. And you're going to have to be patient, which That's tough for people. I will say, as far as gamers go, people who are dedicated to Star Citizen, I do believe are a more patient bunch than a standard gamer. We understand what it is, and we understand that an unknown exception was caught. The crash was not submitted. I don't give a shit if it was submitted or not. Anyway, yeah, changes are gonna have to happen, and it's gonna make the value of your life and your ships and your equipment is gonna go up because it's gonna be harder to obtain them. Uh, I honestly have mixed feelings about being able to buy things. Like, yeah, look at me. I bought all sorts of shit in the pledge store. However, where's the... I just gotta look around here. Where's the jump point? I'm terrible at finding the jump points in Pyro. Yeah, I don't see shit. Oh, got those guys back up. So many rocks. I thought it used to kind of be towards the light, but I don't know. Is it on the other side? Huh. Really don't know. Where it is. Yeah, there's just, I think I'll go this way. So I kind of usually buy some of the structure. Oh yeah, you fly through that ring, I think. Yeah, I think it's over here. Okay. Pretty confident, yeah. I think I remember you kind of fly through that ring. And then it's over on the back side there. You know, there's just, what was I saying? I was talking about buying ships on the pledge store. Would it have been better for gameplay overall and the health of the player base if you had to earn everything in game? Yes. However, the reason why they had the pledge store and Star Citizen developed and was born and grew the way it did is because they didn't have the money. They needed the money in order to do the development to make what it is. And so don't be a hater on the pledge store. Some people can afford to buy stuff, some people can't. It's a perceived frustration. Let me say that again. It's a perceived frustration. If you can't go buy everything you want on the pledge store with real money, and everything in game is impermanent, you feel like the people that are buying stuff with real money have an advantage and it's unfair. And yes, right now they do. But actually, people like myself who have bought stuff in the pledge store, there's one massive disadvantage is I don't have the gameplay experience. I haven't been out grinding. I've done some missions, but I haven't been out grinding. The people who are out doing the grinding and actually playing the game, this will be a cool shot. Let's just take a look at this right here. Probably got the station in the background. Okay, I'm betting on the fact that I am not going to hit anything coming through this. That's pretty cool. That's cool right there. Actually, let's screenshot that, right? I better get back to first person before I run into a rock. Anyway, as I was saying, there's pros and cons, and it's just the way it is. But it's not all bad. Not all good either. I'm upside down, but I don't really care. I don't think it matters. Go, kids. I forget what it's called, but the little marker, which is your trend vector, it tells you where your ship is going to go. Very, very valuable. It's not really a trend vector. It's a, oh, what would you call it? It's a flight path vector. That's what it is. Having that, especially flying through here, is very valuable because it tells you which way your ship is going, not just which way your ship is pointed. I highly recommend using that. Concentration on here. I don't like bouncing out of jump points, that's for sure. Alright, back to Stanton, baby. Back to Stanton. And I'm crashing, which is super crazy. Okay, that means I'm coming out of Stanton. I'm coming into Stanton with speed, which is not good. So we gotta get back in really quick. Oh, so frustrating. I'm hoping my upgraded RAM makes a difference. Get back in, get back in. Yeah, I don't know. We'll start with RAM. It's a troubleshooting process. I thought about uninstalling and reinstalling. It's pretty cool in here, so I don't think it's a temperature issue. I mean, I'm literally trying to check any option. I have a massive page file. Maybe that's bad. I don't know. Maybe maybe my page file is bigger than it should be. I don't know. All right. Well, we didn't fucking die, so that's good. Rocks out here, but it looks good. Alright, let's quick get to new damage before something horrible happens. That's a ways. Oh, I can't. I can't stop. It's bad. We're gonna hit a rock. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what is happening right now. I don't know what's happening. It looks like my clad just left me. It looks like my clad just shot off into space and I am in the command module by itself, is what it looks like to me. No way. Like, where did it go? That's gotta be it, right? Oh my god. It looked like I was trying to turn off my engines and I was trying to adjust my speed because I couldn't control coming out of the jump point. And then it looked like my clad just left the command module and shot off into the middle of nowhere. I believe this is it. Sitting at 45 kilometers. What other marker would I have out here? Hopefully it's not moving anymore. Looks like it's not. Am I able to redock with the clad? That is the question. In some cases when this has happened, now this hasn't happened for a while, but in some cases I've been able to redock. In other cases I haven't. If I could find the damn thing, that'd be a start. Yeah, I think the clad itself is just a glitchy fucking nightmare. Okay, we're coming in hot. That looked like my clad. And it looked like it was... Man, I shot right past it. It looked like it was going warp speed. I'm getting farther from it right now. Is my clad just sailing into oblivion? There, now I'm getting closer. I think my clad is just rocketing off on its own. I'm gonna try to catch it and match speed. Man, I went sailing way past it. There's rocks out here. It's insanity. What's happening? Did you see though that it had the engines were on? Like it looked like it was just headed off into oblivion. Now I'm not catching it. How is that possible? I'm doing 1100 meters per second and I can't catch it. You guys see that? Look at that. Okay, fuck that plan. I just read it out. Okay, fuck it. We're going to Microtech. I'm not gonna chase my own clad around. Alright. Something I did when I went into third person view. That's actually really cool. Something I did when I went into third person view, like got all fucked up. Maybe I can limp this thing back. All right, we're gonna do the same thing again where I pause this until I get closer to Microtech.